Hello?
Hello.
How's it going?
Good man. How are you?
Not bad. So, I know your friend signed you up. So what do you, I don't have much information about you is what I'm trying to say. What are you here for? What's going on?
Well, I've been playing for forever. I'm still terrible. Um,
What is terrible?
500 MMR after 12 years.
Cat?
Obviously have problems with fundamentals. I'm assuming I need a basic. Obviously, I don't understand something because I've never been more than 1,000 MMR. So I guess basically treat me like I'm a new player.
Hmm.
Um, so I don't know. I mean, what do you like? How do you play that long and still be that bad?
What do you think?
Um, I probably just don't understand like roles and what I'm supposed to be doing, and I don't know.
I mean, for me, it's like, I'm not trying to come down on hard on you here. For me, it's like, at that point, I wouldn't think it has something to do with the game itself, but I'm wondering, like, what's your approach, to like playing the game? Like, how do you go about learning things and getting better at the game? Like, what do you, when I ask you that question, like, what comes to mind,
I know I'm terrible at last hitting. Um, I try to play. I play with a friend most of the time, um, and we've been playing both support roles, whoops, trying to uh, synergize, two ults together, um, and we've
Hmm.
had mild success.
Okay. So like your guys' idea was like, let's try to have like a combo and pick it.
Yeah, so he usually plays Enigma, and I'm usually playing like Witch Doctor or something, so he can disable them and ball them up, into a group,
Hmm.
and I can throw my ward down on top of them and kill them all.
Gotcha.
We've been
Okay.
trying to avoid playing carries just because usually you can get decent carries, but support usually sucks in this MMR, so we've been trying to go about it that route.
I mean, what do you enjoy playing though? Like what's your favorite role to play?
Um, I never play safe lane carry.
Okay.
It's usually off lane support or off lane, occasional mid. Um,
Okay.
I'm really more interested in getting out of this MMR
Hmm.
than I am necessarily. I don't know. I don't, do I need to get good at like two heroes and spam them until you can get out into a decent MMR, or what's the strategy?
My question is, what's on the other side? Like, what are you getting out of, and what are you like trying to go to? Like, not like the literal MMR, but like, what about your MMR bracket are you trying to escape?
I guess people like me that don't know how to play, that are terrible at the game, or that rage quit, or
What if I
just
told you that you can be my MMR and still feel that way sometimes?
I would agree. I mean, I can see that. I mean, it's a very polarizing game, right? It's a very
Yeah.
frustrating game.
Okay. Hmm. Okay. Um. Yeah. Don't tell him it never gets better. Yeah. So. Okay. So.
Dashed my hopes and dreams.
Yes. Let me think about this for a second. Um. Give me like 2 minutes. I'm gonna go get a drink. It doesn't count as like part of your session. Okay. I'll be right back.
I'm gonna go brew some coffee myself.
I definitely need a fucking beer for this one. No, I'm kidding. Sorry. So your
I thought of something.
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So I don't understand how to counter particular heroes or items. I don't understand why I'm being countered and ineffective. And I also start the game with the same items regardless of the hero.
I see. Okay. Um, why did your
I
friend
don't.
sign you up for me? Like, why am I here coaching you today?
I don't know. I guess he was just looking for a professional. Well, it's a birthday present, first of all.
Okay.
So
Happy
he
birthday.
was just he was just looking for a professional because I play this stupid game all the time, and it was something unique to get me.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool, man. So I'm trying to figure out how to approach this because it's always interesting to me when I coach people. Like, it's actually happened twice recently where I coach people that don't really know me very well. Like, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. There's just like a lot of principles that I have when I'm coaching, and it's a little bit more difficult for me to figure out where to start. So let me just think here. Um, so like, just a quick summary of how I see the game, as best I can, is that I think the way to improve is to learn to ask ourselves questions that we weren't previously asking ourselves, draw attention to decisions that we weren't previously valuing, and by basically repeating the same question to yourself 1,000 times, then that question becomes instinct, and then you'll like an example of a very in-depth question is like, what do I need right now from my items? Like, what does my item need to do for me right now? That's like a very high level question that I think anyone can ask themselves, but I wouldn't like recommend it to you as like the first question I'm going to try to teach you to ask yourself, right? I'm going to watch one of your games and we're going to come up with some questions to ask yourself in these games because I think that's the way that you go 12 years without improving, is that you're just not asking yourself questions. And an example of not asking questions is buying the same items every game, right? That's skipping a question. There's no like, what do I need right now? What is my role in the game? Like, what lane matchup am I up against? How do we want to play the lane in terms of like pushing it and pulling it? Or are we playing for kills? Are we playing to trade? If we don't ask ourselves these questions, then we're going to buy the same items every game. Like, why wouldn't we just buy the same items every game? So,
Yep, I agree.
so you're with me so far, right?
Yep.
Okay, fantastic. So, that's the way that I kind of see teaching things to people, like not just Dota, but that's also how I learn. Like that's how I learn things. So, and I know not everybody learns the same way. So, in my experience, the variance there, or like the uniqueness to each person, is like the types of questions they like to ask themselves or the way they approach the questions. But for me, it's been kind of universal, where if I can get somebody asking themselves the right questions, they'll come up with their own solutions and they'll benefit from that. That's been kind of my approach to coaching. So, you asked me, you want to get it out of this MMR. You want to go to a higher MMR where people are going to do all the things that you're afraid of in your MMR, I promise you. But still, we can get you higher MMR and you'll get better quality games in the sense that people will be better at the game. But I think, the feelings you're getting will probably persist in the sense that there's going to be times where you feel like people don't know what the fuck they're doing and stuff like that. So I guess my first question is like, you said you play 3-4, and you play with a friend. Are pretty much all your games with that friend?
Yes, most of the time, yeah.
Okay. Is it the friend that bought you this session, or is it somebody else?
No, it's the person
Uh,
that bought me the session doesn't play Dota.
oh, wow. Okay, I got you. Um, okay. So Would it be realistic out of curiosity that like you and your friend play 3-4 together and you always play the same one? Like you always play 3 or you always play 4? Is that something that would sound good / possible for you two, or would that not work with your dynamic?
Yeah, we queue for support and soft support when we're playing together. We've
Ah,
found the greatest success. Hard support, soft support, only queuing for those two roles when we are in a party.
interesting. Okay, so you're pretty much always playing 4 right now then.
What is
Sorry,
so?
soft support.
Well, it depends. We queue for both roles, like
Hmm.
so. It's just random whether you get hard support or soft support.
Well, theoretically, if you both queue together and you're both queuing soft support, hard support, you could just play soft support every game, right? And
I
you're
could, yep,
like, if
yep,
that's
and he could play.
possible, I think it would be like either you playing hard or soft support every game. I think would be a good step for what we're gonna do to like. I'm gonna try to teach you today is because those roles are significantly different.
Okay, I don't view
Um,
them as such, so
I
that's probably a
understand.
problem.
I know. Don't worry. Don't worry, my friend. Don't worry. Um, sorry. So, which one
Yeah,
do you think either of you would have a preference? Like, which one do you think is the best setup here for you to play soft support or hard support?
I'd rather play soft support just so there's less or at least in my mind, less focus on wards.
Gotcha. I would argue that soft support sometimes wards more than hard support, but
Okay.
that's we don't have to go into every discussion today. Why do you not like wards?
I, the,
I lost you for a second.
oh, okay. I'm sorry. It's just
No, go
telling me
ahead.
disconnect.
I think it was
Um,
me loading the screen. Go ahead.
Not necessarily disliking wards, but it's a source of being bitched at when you don't do it, the
Hmm.
way they want you to. There's a conflict. Like I don't even like I have communication off, so I don't even see any of that anymore,
So
just
you have
because
like, go ahead.
I'm so easily tilted. I'm an old man in a child's body, so I get pissed off easy, and then the whole game gets thrown at that point. So I turn communication off. I don't see any communication from anybody other than my party, the person in my party.
I see. I see. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Do you have a replay for me of you playing soft support in the
I've
last week?
downloaded, yeah, I downloaded one of my Witch Doctor games here a second ago.
Yeah. Do you mind sending it to me? Like, you can send me the replay ID in this chat here.
All right, let me fire up Dota and see if I can figure out how to do that.
Yeah. Once you load the game, if you want to see my screen while you're doing that, you can just pull up a game and the match ID's down here,
Oh, okay, I see.
and you can copy paste that to me.
What What add-ons would you recommend? Any Dota Plus or I mean Dota Tracker or whatever do you recommend any of that stuff?
I don't particularly recommend any of that. No. That's
Okay.
not part of what I recommend. There might be other coaches that do, but I don't.
All right. All right. For some reason it's not. Oh, wait. There, let me highlight it.
Perfect. Okay. Let's check this
So
out.
this was a loss and it was a soft support.
Okay. You're Pedro the Lion, right?
I am.
Master tier witch doctor. Let's fucking go. Okay, man. You know what? Is there any other hero you're master tier at where you're like, I just want to play 2 heroes and you pick them?
I'm master with CM and Undying, I believe.
Okay. So, to be quite frank, those heroes are not really considered soft supports. None of your three. Like, most of them are considered hard supports. But
Okay.
We don't need to worry about that, okay? We can make it fucking work. Are you down to just, you can, if you play all three of those, like you like all three, I'm down to, like, you can pick all three, but like right now, obviously, we're gonna focus on Witch Doctor.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Let me just watch like the first 2 minutes. I have like a rough idea of what I'm gonna see, but let's watch. Okay. So what's the, you said you go the same items every game. What's the idea with the boots?
I know I'm going to build mana boots, so I just lock in the first thing I can buy with the gold I'm starting with.
Lock it in. Got it. Okay. Let me see what's happening here. Okay. Just to spark my curiosity, have you like watched an educational Dota 2 video before?
Nope.
Okay. Just making sure I'm on the same page. So that was I don't know how to say that without sounding like a douchebag. So I just had to ask the question. So the way I see offlane, and I'm going to introduce to you, like, because you said at the very beginning that there's probably some crucial fundamentals that you're lacking. So
yep, I'm sure there's stuff I don't understand.
Yeah. So honestly, when it comes to your items, we're going to leave them as is. We can't like right the whole ship overnight. But what we can do is, I think, give you things that I would choose in the priority, okay? So number one is that I want you to not skill your skill until you get to lane. Like, or if you, like, combat people at the rune or something, okay? Like, until you've, like, ready to cast a spell on a hero, I don't want you to level your skill.
All right.
Are you following me? Okay. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to create a decision that you previously do not make. Like, you load into the game, you buy boots every game, I assume, because you said that's what you do, and you probably insta-level Maledict without ever considering the other options, right?
Normally, I'd get the cask. I don't know why I did Maledict this one first.
Interesting. But, like, you would load into the game and, like, insta-level cask. Like, that's
absolutely.
Okay, abso-fucking-lutely. I got you. So what we're going to do
right... to stop somebody from grabbing the coin. Like, I'm gonna stun them, grab the coin, and steal it from them, so that's my goal.
Oh, I see. So your use of cask is to get the coin. Got it. Okay.
Yep.
So, that makes sense. So, that's interesting that you took it. That you took this one in this game. So
sometimes I have Dota Plus. Sometimes I confuse myself by just clicking on the highlighted one that Dota Plus is suggesting and screw myself. But that may be what happened this time. I don't know.
Okay.
Normally, I would get cask.
Okay. So here's one question you can ask yourself: is there someone with me at the coin who has a stun? If yes, probably level Maledict.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Like, that's a good question as, like, a starter to, like, be like, okay, you told me very specifically why you level cask, so I want you to hold on to your skill point, look at the start of the game, and, like, walk yourself out here, right? Like, you're going to go for, like, around this area. You're going to, like, walk yourself out here, and you're going to be like, does the guy with me have a stun that helps us pick up this coin? And if the answer is yes, then I level Maledict, and I follow up his stun with the Maledict if someone tries to take it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so what we're trying to do is I'm trying to create a foundation of decision trees for you, okay? Because, like I said earlier, just to rehash, is that I believe people end up not improving, like in terms of their MMR, because they're not giving themselves decisions. So we're trying to give you some decisions. That's number one. Level 1 skill, this will kind of spark a... hopefully kind of like a series of, like in this game, it worked really well with this hero that I had Maledict. And in this game, it set my jug up to spin when I had cask. Like, whatever. Like, you'll start thinking about the heroes on your team a bit more and how your spells synergize with them at level 1. And then, you know, at the end of the day, that can be extrapolated to like minute 20 or minute 40. But what's happening is you told me coming into this session that you're picking with your friend support player, you're picking combos for team fights that are like 50 minutes into the game or something, you know, 30 minutes, 40 minutes into the game. We want to take
outside the laning phase.
Yeah,
definitely outside the laning phase.
We want to take probably everything that you know how to do because you've played this game for 12 years. Like, you're probably familiar to some degree with like what every hero does in the game and like meaning their spells, like what their spells literally do. But what I'm saying is, if you're thinking about 50-minute team fights in terms of your draft, but you're not thinking about what skill you level at level 1, we're going backward. Like, we're running before we crawl. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm trying to take how you think about the game at like 40 minutes, and I'm moving it here. Like, let's get it from the very beginning of the game. So we got your level 1 skill. That's like the number 1 question we're going to start with. The next fundamental of Dota that, you know, like, that's just getting you asking some questions. Okay. So we're going to fast forward, and I want you to know that you're now required, I hate to say it, you are required to buy a sentry with your starting items. You can buy the tango with the coin. You know, you get the coin, you buy the tango, that's fine. But what we need you to do is have a sentry. So here's what I want to happen. I'm gonna exit the game for a second. Do you queue items up in your shop? Do you do that or no?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. I'm gonna quickly load into a game real quick. As if I'm you. I'm giving you a very quick walkthrough of how I want you to see this. Okay. Where's my boy Witch Doctor? There he is. So, I'm perfectly fine if you want to go boots. You know, that's totally cool. And you got some tangos, that makes sense to have some regen. I didn't know there were going to be bots in this game, but whatever. So you're going to start with, like, these. These are going to be your starting items, okay? And then I'm just doing this to get this out of the way. You're going to have tangos like this queued up down here. And you're going to right-click them so that when you get 90 gold, and then, you know, what's going to happen is you guys got 80 gold from the coins. So then you fly those out to you when you're in lane, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to teleport myself real quick. You can't do that in a regular game. So, your entire minigame that you're going to be playing with the enemy support is that this camp gets blocked, or this camp if you're a Dire, and this camp is not blocked. So, do you know what I mean when I say block a camp?
Yeah. I do.
Okay,
throwing the wards down so that they don't spawn.
Fantastic. So you're gonna do or standing in it, exactly. So in general, I'm gonna make the assumption for now that the supports in your bracket are not gonna deward this. Okay, I'm only making this assumption because I didn't even see you try to ward it. So I'll generally make the assumption that a lot of what you're not doing is probably like it does like kind of overlap a little bit, but like meaning like everyone has their own concoction of things they're good at and not so good at, whatever. But I think it'll be enough if you block that with a sentry for now, like every single game. And then I said to queue up your tangos, but then after you got the tangos, I want you to queue up another sentry. So like this is going to get delivered to you. Like I know I'm fast forwarding a little bit, but your tangos are going to come out to you. You're going to like walk up to lane. You're going to play over here. Okay. The whole idea of playing over here is that you're just going to be seeing if the guy's like blocking this area. Like if he's planning to use his body to block this camp, you can occasionally try to like right click the guy like this. You know, you just walk back and forth. And what I want you to know at the minute mark is whether or not this camp is here. If the camp is there, I'm going to assume you have cask, and you're just going to do this. Like, you're going to cast it on some creeps in order to push it. You're just going to attack the wave forward, like this. Like, maybe not stealing CS, but the bots aren't even trying. And you're going to pull this camp right at a minute 15. Like, you're just going to do this. You did it at 145, so I know you know how to do it. You're going to pull this. And it's really essential that you push it like that, because otherwise, what happened in your game was the lane wasn't pushed, and the opponent just walked over and took the farm. And we don't want that. So the entire goal of this is to pull like this, and you can stand over here, because you're a ranged hero. Maybe with Undying, you'd stand up here. And you're just going to, like, farm these creeps.
Okay, so
And
your laning partner maintains his farm from the lane, and you're
yep,
farming the whatever the hell they're called,
yeah,
the
the
creeps,
creeps.
the creep camp.
Honestly, this might look like what your enemies do in your games. What the bots are doing here. It actually might look like this. I'm not. I'm not even exaggerating. This is the power of the boots. Your goal is to just last hit these creeps. So you're playing cat and mouse with these guys until you get these last hits, and they give up like this. And if they stay on the camp, then you like stand back here hitting them. You know, like you're just over here, give them a little reach around, and you're sitting back here. So what's gonna happen is that camp's gonna be gone. Maybe it doesn't kill it by 2 minutes, right? So then in the game, I want you to pay attention to where these creeps are. Like in the game, you were kind of sitting here a lot, and you were like sitting over here a lot. You're kind of doing this. If I can just have you paying attention to what the timer is, where it's 3 minutes, and at 3 minutes, like at the 2:45 wave, so what's going to happen is this one here. So I'm giving you some timestamps. I'm going to pause for a second. I'm going to give you like a quick, okay, start, boots, grenade, sentry, fly out, tangos, then fly out sentry. And the reason that you're flying out the sentry that I haven't bought because I'm too busy trying to explain stuff is if this camp is blocked, like you check it at 1 minute. I'll do this actually. Then fly out sentry. Check big camp. Or no, I'm putting this all in your notes here. Block small camp with sentry. Then fly out another sentry. And then check big camp at 1 minute. If it is blocked, unblock with your sentry, your second sentry. If not blocked, then pull at 118 or whatever it is, 117. So that's like the first minute of the game where I would say this is like fundamentally good. The thing about my bracket is people aren't going to let you do this. Meaning, like, you'll have to fight to do this. This is what you want to do, but there's a lot of, like, back and forth trading. So, what I want to get across in your case, and, like, everybody listening, is there's, like, a general amount of efficiency that you're aiming for. Like, there's, like, if nobody existed, right? This is the way I like to look at the game. If there were no enemy heroes, like, just say none of them existed, your goal in the game would be to just get as many creeps as possible, as fast as possible. And what that would look like is pushing the lane and pulling every minute. Like, that's the most creeps you can get when you're, like, level 1 or 2. You can't split off and go jungle and all that kind of stuff, right? You don't have, like, the levels or the gold or anything. So, that's what you're generally trying to do, even when there's heroes in the game. Like, that's what we would like to do. They're just going to get in our way sometimes. Like, that's what they're going to try to stop us from doing. And I would make the assertion that up until maybe 1500 MMR, maybe 2K, people aren't actually doing what they could optimally do, even with no resistance. Like,
Okay.
people aren't really giving you resistance, to be honest. Like, you didn't make it. Like, what I mean by resistance is the hard support's job is to make sure that this camp is unblocked and for him to pull. That's his job, right? So when I say resistance, it's like the whole resistance, the battle is that one guy tries to keep this camp open and unblocked while the other guy is trying to block it. And the other guy is trying to keep this camp open and unblocked, and the other guy is trying to block it. Like that's like the mini game that's supposed to happen between soft support and hard support. That is supposed to happen in like a fundamentally high level game. Would it help you if I showed you an example of this from a high MMR game just for like 2 minutes? Would that help you or no?
Sure.
Okay. I can't guarantee it's going to be perfect because not all supports are consistent. But let's see. This game probably has it. Oops. Because I got pooped on in lane here, so I think this game has it. Okay, so like in this game, I have a support ET who has a sentry. as a hard support, and they have a soft support Shadow Demon who has a Sentry, and the game's bugged out, so I can't see anything. Okay. So notice that when we watch the Shadow Demon from level 1, I'm gonna fast forward to his this is you. He's gonna walk over here and Sentry it, right? And then the ET is like making sure that it's dewarded while he body blocks this camp at 1 minute. You see how there's like a mini game between these two supports? He's like, oh, it's blocked. I'm gonna unblock it now.
Yep.
I want you to do that in inverse, where you're checking this camp the way that ET did while cinching this one. You see what I mean?
Yep.
Okay. So that is like a fundamental first 30 seconds of the lane. That's like pretty much like all the stuff that happens over here matters. But if you're not doing this part, you're skipping what I believe to be the simplest, most fundamental part of laning. Are we cool on that?
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay. So I gave you a little bit of a script per se for your first minute of your lane. So the next script that like Dota's a game on a timer, right? There's just a bunch of objectives that happen on timers. So like at 2:45, push the lane.
15 seconds before
the Lotus
spawn.
Yes, what'd you call it?
The camp.
Oh no! It's the Lotus thing on the side.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that thing.
You're gonna try to push them back so that they're not so close to the Lotus to grab it.
Yes, and if they do want to get it, ideally they're going through creeps to get it.
Gotcha.
So the idea is the way I look at. Okay, so there's somewhere around like 2K, 3K where people are generally doing all of the things that I'm telling you. But what I see at that bracket is they do it really slowly. Okay, like say the Lotus is at 3 minutes, they'll like push the wave at like 2:55 and walk over there at 3:10. You know, like they'll do it, but it's like not crisp.
Gotcha.
So it's not nearly as much like I want you to think that pushing the lane at 2:45 and being literally walking into the Lotus pool at 3 minutes, that's perfection. But anything that includes pushing the lane and walking over to the Lotus within like 15 seconds of it spawning is like, that's good. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
We're still on the right track. Okay. So these are the fundamentals of like the first 3 minutes. Now, I'm not going to spend this entire coaching session on your first 3 minutes. So we're just going to fast forward. There's other things to consider in the first 3 minutes, but that like if I overload you, I'm giving you like 1 or 2 decisions to make. And the way that I look at the game is if I understand what I'm supposed to do, meaning like I'm supposed to open this camp, I'm supposed to block this one, I'm supposed to pull this one at 115. What ends up happening is that helps you interpret matchups. Like you'll notice that if I try to do this strategy against this hero, they fuck me up. And so part of why you're probably struggling with like learning hero matchups is because you're not doing like the fundamental things that the heroes want to do in the game that help you see how matchups work, if that kind of makes sense.
Okay.
So you basically are trying to decipher a bunch of written text with no language, is how I look at it. The objectives in the game will kind of give you like an alphabet to decipher here. Okay, so like this is an example where I'd want you to pull this camp at 115. Now I'm going to fast forward. You do pull it, but 2 minutes. So we're going to fast forward to 3 minutes. Yep, so in this case we wanted to try our best to have pushed the wave and then gone and get the Lotus. In your bracket, I'm assuming it just sits here. Yep. Okay, what happened over here? You're going to... Okay. You guys die here because this guy pulls the camp, having these creeps over here. And instead of these creeps, I'm just going to follow where these creeps would have been. Instead of these creeps being right here, they're over here now. And you're like, oh, we gotta walk up here. Like, we gotta walk from here to here. Like, that's what you guys do, right? And then you die.
Yep.
So there's a lot of different ways you can die. It did require the QoP to TP, which is, you know, not... I don't see that very commonly where, like, the mid TP's level 4. But what I'm showing... The reason why I emphasize that these camps are so important is that as offlane, there's generally 2 iterations of... Do you know what I mean when I say creep equilibrium?
Say again. What did you say?
Creep equilibrium. Do you know what I mean by that?
I'm assuming you mean where they meet in the lane?
Yeah, generally speaking, wherever these creeps are hanging out. So, like, by default, they meet right here. Like, if no heroes were in the game, the creeps would meet right here.
Okay.
So when I say creep equilibrium, think of it as, like, this is equilibrium, and everything that you do is either going to push it this way or push it this way. The towers push it this way, right? Like, whenever it goes into the towers, it's going to push it out, right? Whenever it goes into this tower, it pushes it out. So there's 2 types of... Are you with me so far?
Yes.
Okay. So there's only really 2... I don't want to oversimplify things, but I also want to oversimplify things. There's only 2 equilibriums in general that offlaners like. One of them is for the lane to be consistently shoved here, like in their tower. That frees you up to pull this camp. That frees you up to go get the Lotus. That frees you up to potentially go dive them. That's what the benefits of the lane being shoved into their tower is. Okay? So, I'm just going to put 2 creep equilibriums that we're aiming for. Okay? That we are aiming for. Shoving into tower. This, let me actually take these notes better for you. Shoving into tower, which... the 3 benefits from this are Lotus Pool, pulling large camp, and potentially diving. That's the benefits of shoving it into their tower. The other benefit, the other lane equilibrium, is for it to sit right here. Nobody's pushing it. We're not letting it go into our tower. We're just sitting it right here. Back here. And the reason why this one is good is because you have the safety of your tower right here. So heroes like Jug can't chase you down like he just did. And you also have the ability to chase them down if they walk up. So, like,
Right.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, okay.
Yeah, you're acknowledging. Got it. So, the 2 lane equilibriums we like is when it's perfectly even right here, not moving, or we have a bunch of creeps pushing into their tower over here. So the benefits of the one static near our tower. Safety in positioning. Potential aggression because the carry is out of position. Offlaner doesn't really need you. Those are the other ones. That's the other benefit. So what I mean by the offlaner doesn't need you, one of the fundamentals that I try to that every high level support goes by, that I do try to teach. How do I word this? Generally speaking, the job of the support is to help the core get farm and take as little XP as possible doing it. So what I mean is that the question you can ask yourself is, how much gold and XP will my offlaner get if I leave? So it's like, say the lane's sitting right here, which is staticking right there. That's bad for you, right? That's like basically the inverse is good for them. Staticking it right here or shoving it into here. Does that make sense? Like the inverse is good for them?
Yes.
Okay.
They're trying to do what you're doing in the opposite.
Yes,
correct.
Exactly. So what happens here, if the lane's standing right here and your offlaner's by himself and you're not there, what might just happen is they go on him with 2 heroes and kill him. You know? But if the lane's back here and they try to do that, he's just going to like walk into tower range and he's fine. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
they can't do anything. So the cool thing about this is that by pulling the lane back and letting the lane like pull into your offlaner's tower, you saw in my bot match, the guy just sits over here farming. And you're giving him solo XP, so you're not taking his XP, but you're also getting XP from this. And that's why the pull camps are so good, because you're giving him solo XP while also getting some XP of your own. That's like...
All right, let me ask you this.
Yeah, go ahead.
So is it a smarter play for my party partner and I to be in the same lane?
Probably.
If we're on the same page?
Probably.
Okay.
I think you will be able to apply this stuff much faster if you do that. Because what's going to happen is if you play with randoms, then you will have to adjust to the ways that they mess with your plan. Because you may pull this lane, and instead of him taking the solo XP over here, he like walks over to the camp to farm it, and then these creeps just walk in a tower and die for no reason.
Right. I do see that. I do see that the carry tries to take the farm from you in the creep camp that you've pulled.
Yes.
I've seen that.
Yeah. Exactly. So there is like nuance to this stuff, but if in general you pull this and your offlaner like has the lane back here and he farms it, that's like you guys will win your lanes. Like the thing is, you'll win your lanes without even interacting with people, to be honest with you, because you're gonna get solo XP on your core. You're gonna be splitting farm with like the enemy 2 guys over here, and what doesn't happen is the Dazzle gets solo XP pulling here, while Jug gets solo XP over here. Like you saw what happened here. They got the pull off where he gets XP on Dazzle. The Jug got solo XP. Then you had to walk forward, putting yourself in danger, and then you died. That's why these pull camps are so good. And if you win this battle every game, like you will win the lane, period. Like, just even if your guy is like the literal worst CSer in the world, you know, he's got other problems if that's the case, but like as long as he can get like half the CS under tower, you'll win every lane. You know? Okay. So that's what we're aiming for, and you know, I would encourage you, like, yeah, I didn't want to say it at the start because I wasn't really sure, but since you asked, I would 100% recommend you lane with your friend if that sounds good to you. Okay. I would recommend that. Let's see. So, quick, I guess, reminder, but also reiterating why I'm doing what I'm doing. And if I feel like you understand why I'm doing what I'm doing, then I think it'll help you more, right? So, you've been playing for 12 years. You are picking heroes for late game team fights. I trust that the least amount of helpfulness I can give you is really chaotic, complicated scenarios that are like 50 minutes plus in a Herald game or Guardian or Crusader, whatever it is. You know, like that's not going to help you very much, in my opinion. What's going to help you is if we break it down to the part of the game that is the most repetitive. Like, you play the first 5 lanes, you could literally do this every fucking game for the first 5 minutes. But, like, if I taught you something at 40 minutes, it would be like, well, in this matchup against this hero, with these items, in this situation, you do this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah. It's a lot less helpful.
5 minutes every game. You may not see 40 minutes every game against a particular hero. I understand.
Gotcha. And so what's cool about this, and since like it's a birthday present for you, and I'm gonna be like sending you off into the void after we say goodbye here today, my goal for you is like when I teach you this stuff, you're gonna start over time seeing matchups according to which heroes make it difficult for you to block this, which heroes make it difficult for you to like push the lane and pull it, which heroes make it difficult for you to accomplish what I'm teaching you to accomplish here. And you're going to be like, which doctor struggles against this? Would Crystal Maiden or Undying do a better job? Like against that specific hero? Would these guys do a better job? Like, what if you're getting like ran at by a Treant Protector? It's like, I think Undying would be really good at that, right? He'd be really good at being like, nah, fuck off. Like, I'm going to decay you and hit you. Or tombstone you if you overcommit. So the point is like, we can start having you assess your matchups according to the first 5 minutes of the game. and then the methods in which you learn to assess them is how you learn to eventually assess them at like 30 minutes. Like that same strategy with different variables. The formula is a lot more complicated, but it's the same learning. In my opinion, it's just more, it's like advanced. Is then because you came in here saying I don't really know about hero matchups. That's why I'm mentioning this now. So any questions about the why of what I'm going for, or like how to apply it, or anything, or other questions?
No, I think I knew that this was supposed to happen. I may have just not understood why the pulling the camps was so important and what you were trying to accomplish. I knew you were trying to split off the experience or for the, to allow the carry to get more experience with you not being there. I didn't necessarily grasp the advantages for getting the Lotus and for yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, even if you know you're technically supposed to do it, if you don't really understand why, you're not going to consistently do it, and you're not going to capitalize on it when you do it.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? So that's it's definitely good that we've gotten like I believe that you probably know a lot more than you show, basically. Like when I watch your games, I mean. Yeah. I'm gonna fast forward a bit. I think we've talked enough about the laning phase. Okay. One last thing about the laning phase, actually. If the lane, I'm gonna put this. If lane is staticked near your tower, like it's right here. Try to stack ancients / big camp. So one of the best ways to capitalize on this area is do not sit behind your offlaner. Okay, like don't just sit here. You have two choices. You have two choices here. Two choices actually. I'll just put this. Be aggressive with your offlaner, meaning like you think because the lane's up here, you can just like kill the carry or something. You know what I mean? And the other option is go stack camps. So what we're trying to avoid, these are the only two good options, in my opinion. There's like middle ground in there, but it's like, unless you think you can be very aggressive when the lane is right here, then the way you make use of it is to go stack these.
Okay.
And it's even better if your friend picks like Bristleback or Axe or something like this that can clear your stacks. Earthshaker, with Echo Slam. If you guys were to play for the pulls, keep the lane in the games where you kept it here, you stacked for him, and he's playing like Earthshaker, and he Echo Slams it at level 6 and gets like 900 gold, and you instantly get level 6 because you're sitting there soaking the XP from him. Like, that's like 4,000 MMR higher efficiency than the bracket you're playing in.
So to be clear,
yeah,
when I stack and he goes to clear the camp, I'm supposed to be beside him getting the XP as well?
That's a good question. The best answer is that the more times you've stacked, the more likely you are supposed to be with him, because that's how much time you spent outside of lane.
And you want to recover that.
Yeah, and like what's going to happen is if you've stacked the camp 5 times by minute 6, like you literally haven't laned, so you're probably level 2 or 3. And
okay, I got you.
And we don't want you to be fucking useless. Like, meaning we don't want you to be level 2 at minute 10. That's not what I'm trying to tell supports to do, right? But if you've stacked it for him like once or twice, and he wants to go take it, and the lane's like at your tower, yeah, you like trade him. Like let him go have it. You go get the lane. You can be like, hey man, go take jungle, I'll lane. And that's only if he's playing a stack hero. You guys can discuss, but there's options. It's like Sand King can take stacks with Sandstorm level 3. Axe can take stacks with like Vanguard plus level 3 spin. Bristleback can take stacks pretty much any time he gets level 5. Earthshaker can take stacks at level 6 with his Echo Slam. Is there any Timbersaw can take it if you smoke him? we can discuss any of this if you'd like, but the point is I'm trying to give you guys options, and you can feel free to come into my chat sometime and say, hey, BSJ, my friend and I, we're trying to work on the stacks, and can you teach us how to stack with fucking, or to farm stacks with this hero? And I'll either say, well, you can't, or here's how you do it. That's what I would do. I don't mind people coming to my chat and asking me very, like, I can show you this answer in 30 seconds, 45 seconds. I don't, those are good questions. Okay. So that's it for the laning phase. So I'm going to fast forward to the mid game a little bit. Okay, so you get the Wisdom Shrine, fantastic. Okay, got a D ward, nice. Okay, wait, I rewound a bit too much. Okay. I've got a fantastic fundamental for you. If the lane is pushed into your tower... Okay, I've actually got a better way. You know what you want the lane to look like, right? We already talked about this. If you dictated that, meaning like, hey, we wanted it pushed into their tower and we did that, or, hey, I wanted it in front of my tower, and we did that. Do you understand? Like, there's a difference if it's, like, in front of your tower, in this case, or it's in front of your tower because you pulled this camp. Like, right. You dictated it.
An active decision on your part.
Yes. If the lane looks like you made it look, be aggressive.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to say is in this last minute, you have now died twice trying to be aggressive when they dictated the lane.
Understood.
So in this case, if he's pushed the lane into you and you're like, well, I didn't do this at all, I would want you to just sit back passively. Like, you can throw a Q at him if you want, but don't walk in with the maledict and all that kind of stuff. Everything you're doing here, if you don't dictate the lane, is to minimize losses. Which means, like, I'm just getting farm, basically, is what I mean by that.
Okay.
And it's not perfect. Like, a reminder to you and everybody watching, everything I'm saying to you is correct, like, 80 to 90% of the time. But, so you might miss some opportunities if you, like, follow this too rigidly. You know what I'm saying? But I tell people that if there's something that's correct 80 to 90% of the time, that it's best to adhere to that blindly for like 4 months or something. And then you'll be like, okay, I can fundamentally do this all the time. It's time to like look for some exceptions or something. You know, it's like I can know that this isn't that rigid, but for now I'm going to operate under this rigidity to help myself not get overwhelmed with decision making. Okay. So basically, however, once you feel like you are dictating where the lane is, you have a good idea where, what I mean by this is you don't even have to think about that anymore. You're just like, I know where the lane is. I know I put it there. We're controlling this lane or they're controlling this lane. Like that's the two options, right? Either they're controlling it or you are. So it's like once you feel like that's just like breathing for you, it literally just happens where you're like, they're controlling the lane, I'm controlling the lane, whatever. That's when you can start looking for exceptions. Where, like, the lane's pushed into you and you're like, fuck it, this guy's out of position, go on him. But, like, you're not ready to do that until we get you dictating the lane or at least consciously knowing who is dictating the lane.
Got it.
Cool. So the fundamental there is, the question is, who is dictating this lane? Equilibrium. it them or is it us? Yeah, and then the question before it's maybe a bit bad. I said if the lane looks like you made it, look be aggro. So it's like we are dictating be aggro or efficient stacking. If they are dictating, be cautious / defensive. We got it? I think I worded it better there. Okay, cool. Holy shit, we lost a tier 2. Oh wait, no, tier 1, never mind. Okay. Here is your goal. Goal from minute 8 to minute 15. This isn't perfect, but somewhere around there. No mid wave goes into tower unfarmed. What I mean by that is that this lane does not do this.
All right.
Okay. That is like probably in my opinion the most fundamental support job in the game, because around 8 minutes a lot of times the mids will start moving. So they're no longer in this lane anymore. They might still just sit there, but I'm saying like there's going to be a lot of games where they're now moving. And by not doing this, you're level 5 at minute 13. So like when I rewind, a good fundamental is when I'm level 5, like I'm going to rewind a bit more actually. Like I'm going to go like all the way back to 8 minutes. I'm a level 5, I'm a low level support. This is me, all me right here. Like I need to basically notice that this lane is not being taken by somebody. And that's all me. I'm there until somebody comes and takes it from me. Like if your mid like walks back mid and farms, fine. You know, you can go walk back to your lane now.
Okay.
So the whole idea of this is that a big portion of the fundamental aspect of the Dota map is that we want all 3 lanes to be getting farmed until like 15 minutes ish. Like it sometimes ends earlier, sometimes goes a bit longer, but after 15 minutes, people start getting enough items to like kill each other and shit. So if we try to keep splitting up that much, we'll just die. You know what I mean? Like the axe with blink and stuff will just be killing people who are by themselves. So what's really funny about low MMR games that like when I watch Jenkins like Herald reviews and stuff is that people won't farm this creep wave at minute 8, but then they'll be farming 4 different spots at minute 50. And it's like, it's supposed to be the opposite. Like, we want everybody to be maximizing their farm for the first, like, 15 to 25 minutes of the game. But as the game goes on, we want everybody together fighting. You know what I mean? Yeah, so that's I giving you hard cutoffs of, like, your job between minute 8 and 15 is to farm this creeps right here. If they're not being taken. So when I say that, it's just like the longer the game goes on, the less likely you have time to farm as support. But a lot of times supports will still manage to find farm all the way until like 30 minutes-ish. You know, like they may be getting less than cores, but they're getting something. Think of it as like you're getting their leftovers. They don't want that lane anymore, it's yours now. You know, you're getting the hand-me-downs. You got the hand-me-down lane. That's what you get. Right. So, like, if we rewind this from 8 minutes, like, this is a little fun exercise you can do in your future games if you want to, like, learn for yourself. Is between 8 minutes, how many times did this happen? How many waves? That's, I believe this is the 4th wave. Okay, this guy's back. So there were 4 waves. Okay, this one's cleared. Great. Okay, this one's cleared. Okay, this is 5 waves. 6 waves. Oh, yep, 6 waves. 7 waves. Okay. So between 8 and 14 minutes, that is 12 waves. Because it's 2 per minute, 6 minutes. 7 of them went unfarmed. Each creep wave's like 250 XP, I think. That's 1,700 experience. And each level is 700. So you're 2 levels lower. 2.5.
Than I could have been.
Than you could have been. Yeah. So the cool part about this is there's a lot more to Dota than what I'm telling you, but people, it's such a funny anomaly that happens in Dota, I think, because Dota has been around for so long and it's been such a big part of our lives that I would trust you to execute your like Ags ulti Witch Doctor at like 50 minutes in the game, but I don't trust you to do this. You know?
That's true. That's true.
Like, that's the thing, is I can tell you guys, when I walked into the session, I'm 100% sure, I'm like, I'm not going to talk to this guy about a single team fight. Like, we're not even going to fucking look at one. Because that's probably the best part of your game. Like, you've been playing this game for 12 years. Maybe you don't click all the perfect fucking buttons, but like, I trust that out of all portions of your game, that is by far the best. I know that. Just based on, like, what I've seen in my history of coaching. So, my goal for you is that I trust, and the later the game goes, you're gonna have a better idea of what, like, you're just gonna feel things out. It's gonna get pretty fucking complicated, meaning like applying fundamentals and stuff. But if we can get, so what I tried to give you was the first 5 minutes, the general game plan for the lane, playing for stacks for your off laner if you keep the lane here, playing for pulling the camp if you keep the lane up here. That's basically the first 5 to 6 minutes. You already picked up the Wisdom Shrine, so that's fantastic. And so after that stage is over, somewhere around 7 to 8 minutes, in your peripherals is the mid lane. Like, every time you've got your camera on your hero, all I need you to do in terms of map awareness is to also see what's happening here. This exact area. Is there a wave that's going unfarmed? If so, I'm there. If not, I'm not. Okay? And so it's a bonus if you, like, bring a sentry with you. Like, extra credit points if you, like, bring a sentry and deward them or something. That's bonus points. But that alone, you're going to get a lot more out of your lanes. You're going to get at least a level of XP from most of your games, I would say, because this one's probably on the higher end, if I had to guess, of how many waves went unfarmed, which was 7. But I wouldn't be surprised if the average was like 4 or 5 per game in your bracket. I wouldn't be surprised. Some games it'll be 1 or 2 because your mid laner's just farming up a storm, and the other games it's like 8 or 9. It's probably pretty chaotic in terms of what people are doing. So the way you get out of these chaotic fucking games, like if people watch Jenkins's Herald reviews, like the games get pretty fucking nuts. And a lot of times people get caught up in just how nuts they get. Like, even just my last game I played on stream, I lost because I was getting caught up in crazy amount of fights happening. And I took like 3 too many fights than I should have. And I died. And I fell behind as a carry. And a lot of it was my team like pinging me to go and shit. And I'm not making excuses. I'm saying, like, that's why I lost. And no matter what bracket you're in, you're going to get caught up in crazy shit. Okay, that's just the game of Dota. It's stressful. It's high pace. It's a lot of shit going on at the same time. And so what I was trying to give you for this first 15 minutes of the game is like an anchor. These are the things I'm going for. This is like the lens that I'm looking through the game. I'm trying to go for the pull camps. Trying to get the lane right here. Trying to push the lane into here. If the lane's in here, I pull this. If the lane's here, I go here. If the lane's here, I either go on them or I farm these or stack them. That, like, if that's like, that's what you're going for, there's going to be times where you're like, oh shit, I'm late, or oh shit, I missed it, or oh shit, I forgot. It's like, you're going to have those moments, but as long as you know what you're going for, I just refuse to believe that you will not see noticeable improvement, with especially if you're playing with a friend in lane, where you guys are both on the same page, trying to do the same thing.
All righty.
How does that sound? I gave you my final sales pitch. That was my final sales pitch there.
Yeah. One more question.
So Sorry, we're over
So
time. See you later. Nah, I'm kidding, man. What's the last one? Go ahead.
I always buy Shadow Blade instead of Glimmer Cape because it keeps you invis longer while you do your ult, and on most heroes. Is
Yeah.
that crazy or stupid or good idea?
So the thing about Shadowblade is that it's more expensive and it can't be cast on your teammates. That's like the big weakness of Shadowblade in comparison to Glimmer Cape. Now, the thing about Shadowblade, or the thing about Witch Doctor, is he's so popular in your games because he can literally 1v5 a team fight if his ult goes off. Like, he can do that. And so I think if you can learn to play the lane in the first 15 minutes for basically the efficiency of yourself and your team, like you're helping your offlaner get off to a good start, you're defending your mid tower effectively by doing this, you're not just giving yourself XP, but you're also like giving stacks to your offlaner potentially. I would encourage you, quite frankly, to do whatever you think is fun. Like, I think Shadowblade Ags Witch Doctor is way more fun than going like, pussy ass Glimmer Cape. You know what I mean?
I agree. Okay.
Yeah. Like, I'm right there with you, man. The if we give you some fundamentals, you can also still have fun doing all the same builds you've done. I don't actually want you to really change your builds. Whatever fits you, like you want to go the same items every fucking game. If you want to come back in a coaching session when you're like 1500 2K after doing all the shit that I told you, like, because that's where I would about land you. If you're like nailing that stuff, having built all the same items and not doing anything different, I'd put you at least around 1200, like somewhere in there. If like after you get stuck again and you're like, hey, I could use another like BSJ telling me what the fuck I need to do for the next year. If you want to do that, great. But I think you can have a blast doing your same item builds and just getting them faster and having your offlaner have a better game and this tower not being dead. You know what I mean? It's just like little things that add up a lot if you do it over the course of hundreds of games. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Sweet, man. Any final questions?
No, I think I appreciate all the help. I'll see what we can do over the next months and see if
Yeah,
I can
man.
get out and
I
improve.
Best of luck. Happy birthday once again.
All right. Thank you very much.
No problem. Okay.